Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. Season 3, Episode 6. Are we sluts? Carrie wants to sleep with Aiden, but he's reluctant to rush into a physical relationship. Miranda discovers she has chlamydia and has to inform her past sexual partners. Charlotte's new boyfriend calls her names during sex, and Samantha's neighbors disapprove of her sex life after a late-night visitor lets in a burglar.
Ooh,
Burglar. That's
so we remembered to mute the click at the beginning, but then I forgot to unmute us.
So we were trying something special. What I've learned, though, is I think you need to not mute because I didn't know when you didn't like. I didn't hear anything that it was going to.
You're perfect.
I think I was late. Anyway, hi guys. It's Pod in the City with John and Amanda. With Amanda and John. We're here this week, like every week on Fridays, bringing you new episodes. Well, new episodes of old episodes of Sex in the City. If you're interested, you can also check out our episodes of And Just Like Shat. And we also do some fun. Let me see.
Well, let's talk about Patreon.
We have a Patreon, like most podcasts, $6 a month. We do lots of fun shit over there. All right. So what you get over there, amazing shit. You get early access to these episodes without commercials, right? Yeah. And you get episodes, an extra episode each week. This week we did Smash. We're going through the 2 seasons of Smash. Yeah. I do definitely spiral out about Catherine McPhee. So if you hate Catherine McPhee, jump on over there, babe. $6 a month, patreon.com/pod and the city. Also, hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon if you're on YouTube, because it'll send you reminders of when we're going to go live, because every Wednesday we go live at noon. And this week we're talking all about the 2025 Grammys. We're talking about Trisha Paytas's debut on Broadway, and of course Drag Race, because that's what gets us some views.
Yeah, anyway, but I thought it was a pretty good week of media, I will say. I'm actually shocked.
A lot actually happened at the Grammys.
Like in the last couple of days, I'm like, we have nothing to talk about.
But I feel good. A lot of things happened at the Grammys. You know, I loved the performances. I love Beyonce. So sorry about it. You're going to get to hear about how she definitely deserved Album of the Year. And I will hear no other comments. Thank you.
I don't care. I don't care about any of it. But I did like watching like the performances. I love Sabrina Carpenter. This is the first year that I've like actually in a long time that I actually knew who most of these people were. Being on TikTok does help because you hear all the songs.
It does. Well, actually what I'd say is TikTok, music industry is helped by TikTok because it makes everything more aware.
Shit gets stuck in your head, too.
I wouldn't know shit at all, except seeing little Benson Boone like flip off of pianos 500 times in little skin tight outfits.
Okay, I mean, you need to tell me like what clips to watch of the Grammys before tomorrow so that I can come prepared.
Oh, okay. I think we should go through the okay, we'll see. One thing I'm going to say, hit subscribe, hit like, please hit like, guys. Also, it would be really nice, even if you just want to help support us, play this video and just let it run. Just leave it running somewhere, okay? Help us get our views up because we did hit 1,000 subscribers, and our next goal, 10,000.
We're at 1,050 now.
10,000.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if my tow truck has picked up my car yet.
No. Oh, how exciting! So there were a couple themes in this episode that I thought were kind of interesting. Like there was the theme of dirty talk. Being called nasty names when you're like, coming. And then also the idea of STDs.
Oh, yeah, there is an Yeah, this is actually a really solid storyline. Carrie continues to be a terrible friend to everyone. Here, let's
Carrie was shitty. Carrie was awful. I'm sorry.
Carrie was really awful. But you know who pissed me off even more?
Who?
Aiden. I'd be like, then go home. Like, I'm sorry. This is date 3 and you're not even like, you're not even putting your hand down my pants. Like, no. You're a pussy.
See, I kind of thought it was sweet.
No, you know why I don't like it? Here's why I don't like it. Because then at the end, when he's like, guess what? I left Pete with a dog sitter. Then it's very much like, oh, I'm gifting you the gift of man. And I don't like that. I don't like the power dynamic that sets up. It's like, what, do you want me to like beg you for sex? Like, shouldn't this be a mutual? We both are attracted to each other, so we fuck?
You'd think.
Yeah, so wouldn't that irritate you if he's like it's all on him? Like he knows you want it so bad. Like that's
okay. I think I probably would have taken it a different way. I probably would think it was sweet, and I'd be like, okay.
But
I can't think of a time that I've dated gone on dates and waited 5 or 6 dates to fuck.
Would you though? That's what I'm saying. They go 5 entire dates that we know of before they have sex. So like I would go nuts. I'm too self-conscious too for that.
I think there's a thing. I think there's a piece of it where I would like want to get it. Okay. There is this element of when you do end up having sex with them, someone can be like, I don't like that, and just basically ghost you afterwards. So you might as well get it over with, like towards the beginning.
I 100% agree.
Because let's say you date a month.
Charlotte storyline.
Exactly. Like if you date a month and then you finally have sex and you have no sexual, like that kind of sexual chemistry. I mean, like, I know that a lot of people are like, well, it's okay. I don't have sex with my husband anymore, whatever. What?
Okay. I come to a realization recently that I think I've been working on, and you've known this for years. Like there's this big, my whole thing is like, oh, Amanda's looking for a big dick, right? Now, as we talked about
her whole thing,
what everyone knows about me. But I think I've realized that yes, I don't enjoy sex with like because I don't get off on things that aren't a dick inside. I don't get off on the other stuff.
Okay.
So like it is not enjoyable to me. So now I'm looking back in like the past, since Chris, my ex-boyfriend, every sex I've had since him, which was 2018, was the last time I had sex with him.
You feel like you have a gaping.
I have not enjoyed. No, I just didn't think I liked sex. I was like, maybe I just don't like sex, and I do, but I do require someone who also knows what they're doing. So recently I haven't been.
Well, if you're a straight man listening to this with a big dick who knows what they're doing, please reach out to Amanda at patcpod@gmail.com. You know what you guys could do? You know what else you could do? We have a voicemail now.
Oh, yes, please.
Which I would love. You don't have to say your name. You don't have to say anything. You could just say, hi, this is a listener, and I'm just wondering if, I'm dying to give some advice to someone. So please ask about, should you do this? Should you do that? And we'll tell you. And hopefully it's like, should I completely upend and change my life? And then you do it, and then it's the best thing you've ever done.
If you're thinking about getting a divorce, I would say do it.
Oh, if you're thinking about getting a divorce,
I genuinely think that. I think that next year of your life is going to suck. But I have yet to find someone who's been divorced about a year that doesn't look back going, wow, that was like, I can't believe that I used to have that life.
I can understand. I think a lot of people are in relationships where it's just like, you just think that's the best you can get, and it's just not.
Or you're just comfortable, and it is shitty to get out of relationships. It's really complicated, especially if you are married. But like, I would say if you're really considering it and this is not going to like happen, just your life will be better a year from now.
Now, we do know, speaking of this episode, we do know that Amanda likes to be kind of like, she likes when guys like call her a whore and a slut when they're fucking her. I think she does like that, right?
I've never heard anyone call me a whore or a slut. No, I don't think.
Has no one ever done that to you? No one's ever called you a whore or anything?
I mean, okay, if this happened out of nowhere, I would be like,
fucking slut.
I would be weirded out if I wasn't already participating in it.
I would be weirded.
Some kind of consent that needs to happen somewhere in there.
I'd be really weirded out if it's like a blackout moment for them and they don't even remember doing it.
Well, let's talk about that here because my opinion on this is that the guy seems totally nice and he seems horrified that he's doing Charlotte's storyline.
He does, and that's what's weird. I'm just like, okay.
Right, but then it's like, well, is this really that big of a problem? Like, I'd be like, I can live with this.
Okay, well, I wouldn't be taking it personally. Like, I wouldn't. Yeah, I could live with it because, trust me, I've been called a faggot by a guy in bed before, and that's a weird feeling. But at the same time, it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning here. Carrie and Aiden have been on 4 sublime dates, and she is horny AF. And he won't sleep over tonight because he has to go home to his dog.
He also gives really weird vibes at the end of the night. He's not good about it, and then he also acts kind of like he also acts weird about it when she confronts him. Even he's like, "What's wrong with you? What's going on up there?"
Yeah, he like gaslights her a little bit. He's like,
I'm like, you can't figure it out, dumbass.
And I feel like he needs to, in today's day and age, I feel like you'd need to address it if you're not going to be like, at least going to first base or second base on the second or third date. You'd have to realize that you're both obviously horny. It seems like you'd have to explain, this isn't about you.
If I were Aiden, I would have explained.
Yeah, like,
already.
Look, I really like,
hey, I really want to do this. Then you can
spin it really nice. For sure, you can go like, oh, I really like you. Thusly, I think that we should wait because I really want to. That would make me
also,
fine.
To be honest, if someone still wants to see you after each of those, it's not like they're not interested in you.
I think that's kind of the big thing is once you've had sex once, I feel like then once you've hung out after that, then okay, yeah, it's good.
No, I'm saying even if they don't have sex, if he still continues to want to hang out with you, Carrie's whole thing I don't quite get is that she thinks he's not going to want her or something, but he continues to want to date you.
The friend zone thing wouldn't even be a factor because he's kissing you. He's making out with you. And obviously he's probably getting hard while you're making out and stuff. So
I would also think there's clearly a reasoning behind that. I would be like, okay, well, he obviously wants to wait for whatever. Or
I would have to ask though. This would drive me crazy.
Well, the way he does it would drive me crazy. I'd be like, oh, I'm like, okay, good night. And he's like, I gotta go feed the dog. I'd be like, and you can't put your dick in me for 5 minutes and then go do that?
Right. Can we knock out a
really?
Quickie? It doesn't take that long.
Anyway.
Okay, so 2 a.m. Samantha has a guest over, and next morning there's been a robbery, and it's all these old women, these old bitches out down in the lobby. And
he stole my heart.
Who has a guest at 2 a.m.? And then the cops just show everyone, hey, here's the security footage, guys. And
it's a guy like following another guy.
Right. Samantha had some like a fuck date at 2 a.m., which I don't know if I really try. Are there 42-year-old people who are like having people over at 2? I guess.
I don't think that she would just text someone at 2 to come over. I think she would have been on a date or something with them.
I feel like if I were to text someone to come over at 2, it would be because I was drunk. I would never do that sober.
Was the guy leaving? Or
he was coming in. Her guy was coming in, and then the robber came in behind that guy. So honestly, it's really not her fault. This could happen to any of these people could have been coming home at that time.
It's because they're all old fuddy-duddies, which
but also they do make a point that I mean, I wouldn't love that either. If every time my neighbor was here, there was another like strange man I guess I wouldn't really give a shit. But I mean, I guess I see where the old women are like, ugh, this woman's bad for the building.
I get it.
I guess. I don't personally give a fuck.
But that's part of the problem of living in a building like that with like people who are going to then decide whether you fit the standards of their building. Like, fuck off.
I don't want to hang out with those people either. Oh my gosh. So I like got in that car wreck. And so right now I have my Mitsubishi Mirage back, and like I really want to ask my dad if I can just trade him for it. But I know that my uncle, like my rich uncle who like helped me get the Infinity, would be so fucking irritated. But like I want to just drive my Mitsubishi Mirage. I don't want to drive a fucking Infinity around. It's like too big. I feel dumb in it. I'm like, why am I driving this? I feel so good in my little shitty car. I want it back. So what I'm saying is I don't want to live with all these old bitches. I want to live with people like me.
Well, what ends up happening makes a lot more sense. It makes way more sense that
I like that you put
Samantha
Willem on the cover, by the way.
Well, I did have a picture originally of Aiden and Carrie in the bathtub. Then I thought,
dude, that scene is not cute to me. That scene, I can smell that scene, and I can feel how lukewarm the bathwater is.
It's also like, you know, when you're in the bath and in the bathroom, it's like the air is like sticky kind of feeling.
I take a bath every day. I took one this morning at 6 a.m.
It's steamy. You know?
Yeah, but also,
and you've never fucked this person either.
I think the air would not, because she has 2 doors and they're like open. So I just think that it's freezing. The second he gets in there, you have about 3 minutes of warm water, and now it's just lukewarm. Aiden's sitting there like with his legs spread, kind of, and I'm like, what is going on? This looks like gross.
Her feet are like giving him a foot job.
Is that what was happening? I
think because they cut. This is like way later in the episode, guys. To the person who reviewed and said that we're all over the place. Yes, you're right. It like jump scenes to them in the bathtub, and he's like, ooh, and it's her. It's in like my opinion, implied that she's playing with his dick with her feet or something. It's gross.
Well, I would also need to immediately see, like, here's the other thing. I would be thinking exactly what they say here. Now they're at breakfast, and Miranda's looking cute and her happy and happy in her like blue turtleneck. And Charlotte's talking about her, the guy that, Charlotte has sex with a guy who calls her a slut and a whore when he comes. So she goes, do you think I'm a whore? And Samantha goes, oh, please, if you're a whore, then what does that make me? And all 3 of her best friends just go, I'm like, I'm like, you have all had sex with exactly as many people as Samantha.
Okay, but what does Miranda end up saying to Charlotte? She's like, well, you have had quite a bit of dong in you, or something like that. I cracked up at that.
Well, it's true though. And she, but anyway, so now Carrie turns it back on herself and she's like, what's sad is that even Charlotte's having more sex than me. So now the girls are all like, well, maybe there's something wrong with his dick. Is that not where your head would go?
Immediately.
Like something.
I'd be like, either it's small, it looks weird, it's cut weird, maybe it's uncut and he's scared to show you it.
Dude, every time I see a penis now and it's cut, I say out loud, oh, thank God. Just because it's just so much better.
Amanda just walks into men's restrooms, looks at the urinals and is like, oh, thank God.
The only uncut one I've had was my ex, Bacon Fingers.
Oh, that's the wrong that's the only experience to have.
However, I can see how an uncut dick would feel good if the guy like knew what to do with it.
Well, because technically, wouldn't it like go in a vagina and then the skin just kind of stays, right?
Yeah, and then it would be more like friction.
Yeah,
I think it probably could actually be good, but it's just like I just feel more comfortable with what I know. And what I know I like. So
great.
Carrie, so now they're all like, maybe his dick curves right, and Carrie's like, well, then we'll work it out. I'll go left. And then Samantha tells her there's a ticking clock here on like the friend zone. So now Samantha's put it in her head that maybe he just wants to be friends. So next night, Carrie's out with Aiden again, and he again refuses to have sex with her. And she understandably is like, yeah, you have the dog, whatever, I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. And he's like, what's wrong?
He lightly taps on the door and she answers and he's like, what's going on up there? And he taps on her forehead. Yeah. I would kill this man.
I know. Like,
what the hell do you think?
We were just like kissing and then you were like, oh, I gotta go home.
And it's the way he does it. She's like, oh, you want to come in? And he's like,
of course I do. I mean, look at you. It's like, well, then fucking, like, come on. You should have said something earlier.
He's like, every time I have sex with someone, it doesn't mean anything. Right?
Can I also rewind for a second here? Because Charlotte is wearing my most hated shirt in the whole series in the coffee shop scene. And here it is. It's this frilly pink fucking horrible shirt.
Is it a photo? Oh, yeah. That is terrible. Oh my God. It's like a keyhole tube top with a ruffle. It's a tube top with a keyhole cut out in between the tits with a ruffle around the top and then one single string holding. You know what? If it didn't have the ruffle, it would be okay.
If it didn't have the ruffle completely, but that ruffle is just really heinous.
I also don't believe Charlotte would be wearing that. It seems a little revealing for Charlotte. No,
that's true too. Well, she shows a lot. Well, I don't know.
She's had a lot of dong in her.
She's had a lot of dong in her. So Samantha, okay. Next night, Carrie. He says, "I would, I've been down that road before. Slept with women quickly, and I'm still single." And I'd be like, yeah, but like after the second date, again, like after the second date, you'd have like a good idea, right? Second or third date for sure. Like now, the first time wasn't a fluke. Second time, we still like each other. Third date, okay, we're gonna try this, right? We're like
I think it has to be a mutually agreed upon situation. Because let's say Aiden's situation is he thinks that that's what's going to make it strong. But then in Carrie's mind, if they don't fuck, she thinks that he doesn't want her. So you have to both be on the understanding of like, okay, we both want to wait to know that this is right, to know that it's strong and real. You can't just have one of you want that. And then the other one's like, well, if they don't fuck me, I don't think they want me. So it doesn't work.
Also, I don't want to, because with my ex-boyfriend, Bacon Fingers, it was the situation where it was like, well, I waited until I was in love with him. Remember, I told you there was that one time where I was like, I should get out now because I'm a little bit annoyed with him. But then I stayed, fell in love with him. Sex never got good. And then I was just stuck with bad sex. So again, like you said, I'd want to know immediately the sex isn't very good with this guy and then get out before you fall in love with him, because I'm sorry, you can't sustain it. If it's going to be bad sex the entire relationship, no matter what you do, it's not going to work.
Now, do we think Aiden would be good sex?
Yes, I think he'd be great.
I want to think he would, but again, I'm back to the thing of I think he wouldn't smell very good, and then I also feel like he could be like a sloppy lover. I don't really like a sloppy lover. Do you understand what I mean? Like he could just be like, he'd really like be really sloppy, like eating you out.
Maybe. Like I don't know. It's like I feel like a lot of guys, it's a lot just in the hips. As long as they got.
Oh yeah, because Amanda. You don't like getting eaten out, etc. So you just want
not.
Okay, he probably would be good at the fucking. I'm thinking about the other stuff where I would think he would be passionate, but it could also give me like a lazy vibe, which would be like kind of like like he'd be more like aloof, like you know. You probably want to smoke a joint and then fuck though, which I like.
If Aiden's like on top of me, just like giving it to me, I feel like that would be good. I'd rather that.
I would agree on that.
Yeah.
But what does he smell like? All right. Next.
Okay, I'm sorry, where are we? Romance. Oh, so he's like, it's only been a week and a half. Don't people date anymore? Now Carrie kind of gaslights herself into thinking, she's like, I realized, why did I expect to sleep with him on the third date? It's like, because you're a single hot woman living in New York in the year 2000. That's why. You're not crazy here.
But it was only a week and a half, so.
I think that's like a long time. Okay, it's a week and a half, but 4 dates now. And that also means that you have liked each other so much that you have managed to fit each other in that much in just 10 days.
You might as well just do it, but there is a magic, or there's a kind of a fun before that, because there's still that like leading up to it. It's like, ooh, what's it going to be like?
You better bring it then. Because you better not be making me wait 5 days, and then it's like
Amanda's like, if you make me wait at all, the longer you wait, the more you're fucking. The harder you better pound my ass out. Damn.
Not my ass, Joan. I don't do that.
Well, the figurative ass.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Amanda doesn't want huge dick up her butt. No, anyway,
I don't know why anyone does. Okay, great. Romance. She writes a romance on a post-it and puts it on her computer. I always found that stupid. You wasted a post-it for that. She walks with Miranda, who tells her that she has chlamydia. I love this storyline. Ooh, I'm sorry, that was really loud. I just blasted off the mic. I know I did. Sorry about that. Miranda has chlamydia, and her doctor has suggested that she makes a list of everyone she's slept with so that she can call them and tell. No, I don't. I'm sorry.
As a person who, I'll be real. I've had an STD before. I've had the same one twice.
I have HPV.
Ooh.
You can sometimes it's like not there. I've had like fully clean pap smear. It was really bad when I was with Radu. He probably gave me a bunch of STDs. He was fucking everyone somehow.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, well, my situation was a little cuter than that, at least. But
tell us about your situation.
I've had two. Okay, I've had a couple situations. I did have gonorrhea.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I'll
gonorrhea.
Of like one of the 3 times I had sex unprotected. One of like, again, the 3 total times I got it. And so, baby, wow. I don't do. I'm like, well, that is a lesson. I think
you've only had unprotected sex 3 times.
Yes, and one of the times I didn't really want to. It was like the guy, like we were like messing around and doing stuff, and then he like basically like I was going to
ripped it off.
Whatever. I was going to ejaculate, and he basically sat on my dick to like.
I probably had sex with a condom 3 times.
Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I've had it, and they actually like they do want you to contact your like recent sexual partners, but
sure,
we're not
making a list of my sexual partners.
Contact someone that you fucked 10 years ago, and
can you imagine if you got that call from someone and be like, "Who is this? Remind me."
I did get a call. I got a text one night about 10 p.m. on like a Sunday from someone that I had been with who found out that they tested positive for HIV.
Oh my God.
Here's an idea, guys. If you ever find out that you have any of that, don't text someone at 10 p.m. on a Sunday night that you have it. Maybe do it in a time when they can like find immediate care or testing or something.
True,
because bitch, I was
what year was
like
this too?
Shaking.
Because I feel like nowadays you're not going to get that freaked out, but like in the early 2000s, I thought I had AIDS every time, full-blown AIDS. Every time I had sex, I thought I had AIDS.
That was probably 10 years ago now, and now they do have rapid HIV tests and all of that. So I did actually go get a rapid test. It was $50 at the store, but I wouldn't want to get HIV now. The one time I passed out at a doctor's office when they gave me a test. I thought there was like a possibility that it was like reading positive.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, let me see. I got to go find out. They all left the room and I passed out. And then a girl came in and saw me passed out and screamed. And then I came to like.
People need better bedside manner. Because that's even.
Seriously.
Like, when I called the bank today, even, I was like, what happened to my wire transfer? And like the 2 people were helpful and they were talking to each other. And then I finally was like, can one of you just say that like, you'll find it? And they're like, oh yeah, it'll get sent back. And I'm like, can you start? Shouldn't every customer service person or doctor, like doctor receptionist, veterinary receptionist, when they call you to tell you news, be like, everything's fine? When I call people about their dogs that stay at my house, I always say everything's fine, and then I continue, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Shouldn't every doctor giving test results say we're all good, just a follow-up? This is not urgent.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so we both have had STDs, but not AIDS.
Here's the thing. They don't ask you to contact a million people. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
well, and I've actually been kind of excited to get to this storyline because I remember when I first watched this episode, I could have made my list easily. It was like 3 guys, including Brad. Now I was like, Miranda really is kind of skanky because her number is like 42 or something. And I'm like, whoa, like there's no way I could even rack up that amount. And I'm probably right about there. Do you think that's awful?
No, I think 42 is like nothing. Oh my God. I had really skanky years.
I think the numbers are probably differ between the 2.
I had some really skanky years. And I don't know if you count, like, if you're in, like, let's say you're a part of, like, an orgy type situation with, like, 5 other guys.
True.
You count 5, right?
I think I could, if I made a list.
Count in that?
I could count, I don't know. I think if I was to count, I could probably, God, this is.
There's no way you would be able to remember.
No. I'm trying to think of like the percentage that I'd be able to remember. I could probably remember like 80% of the men that I've slept with, but also there's a difference between knowing that person's name and like, that guy that I met on Bumble that one time for a one-night stand.
Yeah, I definitely think that
not a lot of significant ones.
In my time, I'm past it now, but I definitely had a major hoe phase. No, I wouldn't. If I saw some of those guys now, I wouldn't remember at all. I wouldn't. No. I'd see you walking down the street and maybe they remember me, but I would be like,
that drywall guy that I had sex with 2 weeks ago, if he passed me on the street, I would never recognize him. I don't remember his name. Oh, I remember it.
God. So great. Yeah, Miranda's number is like 42, and then Steve's is more
higher than 60. And he's like, I'm a bartender and I'm cute in New York. That actually would make me feel better, though. I'd be like, okay, phew.
I actually just am like, I think there's way too much precedent put on that. Like, what is that?
Who cares?
Like, if I was in a relationship with someone, I wouldn't be like, you've had sex with 50 people? Oh my God.
When I met Chris, he told me that he'd had sex with like over 100 people.
Who?
Chris.
Anyway, that's amateur numbers. All right.
Oh, I thought it was pretty crazy. But he was like the second guy I slept with after my divorce. So he was the 5th guy I ever had sex with. So it was like 5 against like over like 100. That was pretty like insane to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
If you guys want to know my number, go check out the Patreon. I'm pretty sure I talk about it at some point.
You never, I don't know your number. I'm going to guess 350. Is it like around that?
No.
I need about
I don't know exactly.
Honestly, John, it like doesn't even matter. Like, who cares? You don't. I assume you've had your
I would say it's like
in you.
I'll do a Steve. It's more than 350.
It's more than 350. Are you serious?
I would say possibly a lot more. Anyway, stop counting at one point. But if you do the math, good Lord.
Look, you're still alive. You're healthy. You look fabulous.
Oh, yeah. And the STDs that I had were curable. So I have nothing wrong with me now. I got nothing, baby. I have no underlying.
What really happen? You get pregnant.
Anything. Yeah, I could just lie.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I've only been with 3 men and I've never had
Would that be weird to you if you like if you were dating a guy and you'd only had sex with a couple of guys?
No, I'd actually almost prefer that. I'd like, what I ideally would like to meet is like a man who's never been with men before and just
oh yeah, that's hot.
And then I turn him. It doesn't work like that, but yeah, I would like that. So you don't have the baggage attached because I know that as a gay man who's gay, there's a lot of anyway, not just axe that.
Yeah, Carrie says if you live in Manhattan and you're single and you're over 30, it's inevitable you rack up a certain number of suitors. Are we sluts? Now, Charlotte's out to dinner with her guy, who, again, this isn't even a conversation you need to have now because he's like taking you to a nice restaurant. You're having a great conversation. Like, obviously, this guy you were having sex. So he asks what's wrong. And she's like, oh, it's something you said during sex. And he's like, I don't remember anything. I remember it being really nice. She's like, oh, never mind. So then it cuts to them fucking. And he calls her a dirty slut, a dirty whore. And she's like, that's what you said. And he's like, oh my God, I certainly don't think that. I can't believe that. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again.
He's like, what did I say? She's like, you called me a dirty whore? He's like, I did? I can't believe that. Oh my God, that's terrible and disgusting.
What if this guy brought this to you and he's like, in order for me to come, I need to say this to you. That really
I would just want to know, why are you blacking out so much when you come that you can't remember what you're saying?
Maybe that's more the concern.
Like, are you going to black out and your dick's going to land in someone else? And then you're going to say, oh, I just black out when I come. Oh.
Well, Miranda and Steve's trying to get busy with sexy Miranda and her long slip dress that she's putting on lotion. And Steve's like, is trying to get it going. And she's like, I can't tonight. I have chlamydia. That's how you tell. I guess this is before texting, but this is something I would definitely text and be like, hi, ... and wait for him to get it out of me. That's how I would have to approach this. Hey, Sue.
I don't know why you'd wait until you're lotioning up to be like, hey, just so you know, tonight I can't fuck.
And then she says it kind of bitchily, like, I can't tonight, I have chlamydia.
It's like you wouldn't have told him immediately.
Well, also, I would assume that he's the one that gave it to me because he's the one I'm having sex with, and now I have.
But she doesn't. It ends up that he doesn't have it, so.
Which is also weird. Why did she doesn't give it? Okay, so anyway, he's like, well, it's fine. You're the only one I'm screwing. And she's like, well, but I don't want to have sex with you until this is gone out of my body. We'll just keep passing it back and forth, and I have 6 more days of antibiotics, and then she's like, go get tested, Steve. And so Steve at the free clinic, and the doctor's like, I need a sample from the inside of your penis. That makes me want to pass out. Cause I mean, just having been around some dicks.
I've had that before.
Like, it looks like.
Or they stick a Q-tip in your urethra.
Because, you can kind of open that hole. That fucking.
It feels, well, imagine you're putting something really dry. Like
when I was little, I had several bladder infections, so I had to have this done when I was in kindergarten, and I had to have something shoved up my urethra, and it's even smaller for a woman.
Ew.
At least men, you can kind of pull the hole open, but like a woman, it's just like a little tiny pee hole. I remember it.
Have you ever heard of sounding?
No.
It's like you put a steel rod in your urethra, and then you like hit it with another, like they use like a tuning fork or something, and it makes it vibrate like
that's like too sensitive
in your dick.
That's like,
I've never done that. I would be
have a really
freaked out.
And I almost feel like with this situation with the cotton swab in your pee hole, the dick hole, I almost feel like I can almost feel like the pain. It's not like a hurt. It's just like a severe discomfort. It's like
a scratchy thing.
Yeah.
I think it's more than I'm freaked out. Like with if having like, okay, the sounding thing, if you stick a rod in your dick, it just feels like it could like stab you or something. I don't know. It's like a weird, it's like in there.
Yeah. Well, I gotcha. Anyway, Miranda now. Oh, also, if I was Steve, this is what I would say to Steve. I'd be like, just go get antibiotics for chlamydia. Just go tell a doctor you have chlamydia. Get antibiotics.
It doesn't work like that.
Why not?
They do. They would test you. They don't just, okay, you live in Canada where they just give you whatever you ask for.
No, I pay for prescriptions, Joan.
Here, you have to you probably have to go to a specialist. Just kidding. When I did it, there's a place here that you can do a full round of all the tests for $20. I think there's a free one too, but
I would figure out a way to. Why doesn't Miranda just refill her antibiotics and give Steve half of it?
Why doesn't Steve just go to the doctor? Like, I would be like, great. Here would be my thing. The girl that you're fucking says they have chlamydia.
Yeah.
Immediately, I'd be like, I'm not fucking you. Like, I wouldn't be like, let's keep fucking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
I'd be like, okay, well, when's that going to be fixed? And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go get mine fixed too. Like, the fuck?
So we have Samantha in the elevator, and she's getting clocked by this lady with her dog. And she's like, every time I'm in this elevator, you're with a different man.
And I'd be
Samantha, like, remembers like all these men she's been in the elevator with. And I really like Kim Cattrall's like acting here as she's leaving the elevator, because she's just kind of like lost in a daze of like thinking of all the men in the elevators. Like, this is your floor, miss. And Samantha's like, oh, yes, thank you. And just the way she kind of like goes, I just always thought the acting performance was very good, because she's the best one on the show.
I think that if they did a reboot, a good Samantha in the reboot would be Catherine McPhee.
She is really good. Yeah, for sure. Not Megan Hilty. Megan Hilty couldn't be a sexual 40-year-old.
Well, Megan Hilty tries too hard.
She does. She wants it too much. She does too much research.
Please check out our Patreon episode if you'd like context to that. We obviously do not believe that.
It just doesn't make sense how they're trying to make us not want Megan Hilty to get it.
They're gaslighting us.
But then, as it turns out, simps out there think Catherine McPhee should have it. The simps. Miranda is fielding calls. So Miranda makes her list. Now she's fielding calls. I would never do this. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just a worse person than other people, but like, I wouldn't do this.
Okay, remind me. She's fielding calls.
She's like, people are calling her back, like, "Hey, I missed a call from you," and she's like, "Oh yeah, I have chlamydia. Oh, now that you're married, I guess you don't have to worry about this." It's just humiliating. Like, no.
Why are you having to call people from years ago?
Yeah, you don't need to. So now this guy, this is actually canon in the show because he was in an episode.
I remember.
David.
I liked that. He was like the asshole guy that she dated.
And then she does say, never, never call me again. So like, I'm impressed with hey, look at that. A writer who actually remembers other episodes.
Wow.
So Miranda is so funny here. Cynthia Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
Her like, or maybe it might be the direction of how they're facing the camera, or just the way she's kind of moving around in her seat is very comedic. She's like, because he kind of lets it out that he does have chlamydia, and he's like, is that it? And she's like, yeah, that's everything. Actually, no, wait. Did you test positive? And he's like, yeah, what business is it of yours? And she's like, because maybe you gave it to me. And he's like, you said never to call you again. And she goes, and now I remember why. Bye. So that clears up that storyline, I guess. Aiden comes over now with food. He's like, again, how horny must Carrie be? I'm like, I don't want your fucking food. I don't want your cutesy little, hey, beautiful. I don't want.
Like, I want your dick.
Yes.
Now.
Like, come on.
Feed me.
Carrie now spins out about, in her head about like friend versus boyfriend. Whatever. Carrie now calls Charlotte. This part is funny. Carrie's like, he's been in the bathroom for the past 40 minutes. This isn't romance. This is bullshit. He's like, pinching at a turd in there. Aiden's been in the bathroom. I guess we're supposed to believe that Carrie doesn't hear the bathtub running. There's probably not even like a fan in her old ass apartment. He has
compiled
is on.
Candles, bath.
So did he go in there with a big bag?
Oh, he was like, he put a sound machine on. He's like, Carrie, I'm taking a shit. And it's just sounds of shitting over the sound of the thing.
So loud that a bath actually
just
in
like,
the same apartment.
Like, the fuck?
God.
You know what? Suspend your disbelief for romance.
So Carrie goes in there and also like, it's just a New York apartment. So it's this like really shitty bathtub. It's just like, oh, great. Okay.
And he made it for her.
Just her. So I'm like, and I would turn that into, are you calling me fat? Are you calling me smelly? I would turn that into like, what are you trying to say here?
Well, he said that she needs to relax.
He has he's turned on Oh mio bambino caro.
Because that's what I want to come to for sure.
Like, what am I doing? If I was in the bath listening to that, I'd be like, what am I doing here? I'm in the wrong story. I'd be very that. Right? Wow. If I was in the bath listening to Oh mio bambino caro. So
I would not want to. Well, you know what? You never know.
He turns to her and he goes, I thought a bath could help you relax. You seem kind of tense.
She is. She needs to get fucked out, dude.
Nothing gets a woman harder than when you point out that she seems tense. Rob would say that.
I actually don't like when anyone points out anything about me. When someone's like, "Are you tired?"
I don't want you to acknowledge that you know what I look like.
Nothing. When I walk in the room, you pretend I don't exist until I speak to you.
I feel like I'm at the point with this guy that I'm currently fucking. Should I be like, have you noticed that I have Tourette's? Like, do I need to say that at some point?
Well, maybe.
It should be acknowledged, right? Or like, I know I have Tourette's. I know I have this. I know I just twitched. Do I need to address it?
I don't know. Did you tell Rob?
What?
Did you say anything to Rob?
Yeah, and he goes, "Oh no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." God, I hated that relationship so much. Okay.
Great.
This is on the free feed. It's fine. He'll never find it because honestly, John, when we broke up, I can almost guarantee you, if you asked him what my last name was, he would not be able to tell you.
Great.
Yeah.
Cute.
That's how, like, just whatever. Okay, anyway. They now take a bath together because she's like, little big top little person. And he's like, you convinced me. Which is also annoying to me.
Very.
Do I have to beg you?
And then they uncomfortably like squash themselves in this bathtub.
She
gives him a foot job.
There's like a faucet right here. Bath water is lukewarm at best. And then he's like, all right, no, let's do it. And she's like, no, I do care now. Romance. Here, get out of the tub. Right.
Okay. But isn't it implied that then they don't fuck?
They don't fuck. That's right.
They took a bath together.
Yeah.
And didn't fuck?
Right, because now she cares about the romance.
Stupid.
Girl. So Samantha now gets bombarded in the lobby by all the old women again. She's like, if you want,
I can't open my left eye.
Well, what I love this is that Samantha's. I think it's supposed to be like a little bait and switch here that Samantha's gonna like have like a woman's empowerment moment where she's like, if you have something you want to say to me, say it to my face. And they're like, you're bad for the building. You're a slut. You're a tramp. You're bad for the building. I got robbed because of you. I can't close my left eye. So she calls Carrie. She's like, they practically chased me like I was fucking Stein. She's like, I think it's time to move. And Carrie's like, no, you have a rent-controlled apartment. You can't move. And Samantha's like rich enough to, not
She's
care
like,
about
that doesn't matter, darling. I need
Okay.
to be able to take dick at all hours of the evening.
Right. So she's like, well, where are you? Are you still on a sex sabbatical or whatever? And Carrie's like, we're going to a blues club tonight. And Samantha's like, who's singing? You?
She's like, Carrie, don't forget, honey, I love jazz.
I love jazz. So Carrie says, just so you know, by the way, I got a preview last night and it's straight, very straight. And you know what I always noticed here is that she does not comment on the size, meaning I think Aiden's average at best. Because don't you think he'd be like, it's big?
He doesn't give me big dick vibes, but
maybe he knows what to do with it though.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to have a humongous dick. I know Amanda needs a humongous dick, but not everyone needs a humongous dick.
Okay.
So
great. So Charlotte's now in bed, oh god, this part. They're like fucking, and he's like trying. He wants to come and call her a dirty slut and a dirty whore, and he's like, "No, I can't do it." And this is her acting. She goes, "No, come on, I'm close." No, you're not. And then she's like, "Go ahead, say it." And he says, "Like, you dirty slut, you dirty whore. Damn it, what's wrong with me?" I guess they break up.
I guess
she can't handle this. This thing that seems like it could pretty easily be like therapized.
I also just think like there's no way that you have to do that in order to come. There's just no way.
You're trying.
You can't come without calling the person you're fucking a dirty whore and slut. I mean, really? Yes.
Steve is negative for chlamydia somehow. And now, this is where Miranda's loosening up. And they talk numbers, and hers is 42, and Steve's is higher than 60. And then Carrie's voiceover goes, and then they start kissing. And Carrie's like, men who've had a lot of sexual partners are men who've had a lot of sexual partners are not called sluts. They're called very good kisses.
Oh Lord.
Aiden now walks Carrie home, and they're kissing, and he's like, I got a sitter for Pete. Do your straight voice.
I got a what from Pete?
A sitter.
Carrie, I got a sitter for Pete.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put it in you tonight.
Do you
think any guy, straight man's like, tonight?
Tonight. Oh, she's coming out tonight. The nice thing about a new relationship.
Yes, God.
Oh my God. Yesterday, when you came on our live and you did a tongue click, I've rewatched it. And it is so funny. Like, I am so caught off guard by it, and I cackle so
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm also like, yeah, I mean, with the way everything's going in this country, I am a straight man now.
Yeah.
That wasn't even good.
No, you did like you nailed it. It was so funny.
Someone commented, they're like, oh, John with the tight 5. And I'm like, actually, you're right. It was like a pop in.
Yeah, you're like, so, okay. Can I go?
I would have stayed, but I didn't want to be
we were wrapping it up. You gotta trust us, baby.
Presumptuous.
We knew what we were doing.
Because I know there's people over there who hate me.
Yeah, but I have another podcast, guys. It's called We Love to Hate Everything. But Joan made a little guest appearance, and it was actually nice because me and Jody got to Jody was talking to you. I was kind of just like chilling.
You were like you were like this. Like reading all the comments and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Someone's got to get in the comments. All right, Aiden has got I got a sitter for Pete. And she's like, you knew that the whole time? See, I'm annoyed by this.
She's stupid.
And she goes, the nice thing I hate. Oh, and I said, I hate this because now he has the full upper hand. Like he's giving her some fucking gift. And again, the sex better be mind-blowing. I don't think I'm being a bitch.
I don't think it's going to be, unfortunately.
I think it'll be fine.
I don't even think that. It's not giving me the vibes like he's gonna fucking splay you out.
Seems like he's gonna be too romantic about it.
You know who the moment they appear on the screen give me the vibe they're gonna fuck you down? Smith Jared. When Smith comes on the show, his immediate vibe is like, okay.
Julia Murney's in that episode.
Oh yeah, she's the one that's competing against like Samantha. Oh my god. Okay.
See, these are the things that I keep in my head for some reason. I hate. Okay, so the nice thing about a new relationship, it's a clean slate. And now Samantha moves to the hot and trendy meatpacking district, and Willem is in this. He talks about this all the time. I guess he's kind of recognizable. He looks rough.
What they have done here is none of these queens look good. I think they're going more for like a busted queen situation, like, and they're not.
Well, this to me more reads as like
hookers.
Transgender hookers.
Yeah, I think that is what they're going for, because they're like, this is supposed to be the early morning of these like queens on the street. And Willem talks about this all the time. And guess what? This scene, even though this is like kind of like the photo for all the marketing and everything of this episode, if you look anywhere, it's like Samantha with the drag queen.
Same, on HBO Max.
They are in this for 10 seconds.
Oh,
they don't even say anything. Nothing.
I think they like say things.
They're like, ooh,
it's
girl.
Not even, it's like, ooh, it's kind of just background noise. But there's Willem. I mean, that is Willem. I mean, that's more than I've done with my career. So, I mean, I would bring that up all all the time too. If I was on
Amanda, that's not more. Amanda starred in a crime reenactment.
Dream Forensics. The episode
what was it called?
It's called Backfired.
What was the show called, though?
Extreme Forensics.
Okay. Amanda starred as a dead person in Extreme Forensics.
$100 for that. Like 11 hours of work. Yes.
Wow, $100 for 11 hours of work. That actually sounds like good money compared to what we make over here. So what I'm hoping is maybe someone could.
Yes, please join our Patreon, guys.
Jump on over. That. I do love that our episodes, like some weeks we'll make like a 50-minute episode, and then last week we did like an hour 15. I'm like, okay. Well, I wonder if it's when I'm leading versus when Amanato's leading, because I have a lot of bullshit to throw in there. What I want you guys to do is, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like, it'd be really cute too. Share our video.
Yeah.
You probably have a friend who likes Sex in the City. Share this with them. If you also want to check out our other things, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/podinthecity, where we this week did Smash. We also do Golden Girls. We do Girls. We do a Pillow Talk episode where we talk about dirty things. Check it out, $6 a month. And check out our weekly roundups every week live on Wednesday at noon MST.
Lastly, we need voicemails. So go to our Patreon. This is public. You don't need to sign up, but it's pinned. No, it's not pinned. No, I'm going to pin it. Should I pin it?
If you're on
Patreon and search in the keywords voicemail, it's the only thing with that tag.
And if you're on YouTube, there's a link to it in the
I'll put that in there
area or in the description or whatever.
Hey, guess what? 2 minutes. It's 4:20, June.
4:20. Anyway, guys, we love you guys so much. We hope that you're willing to listen, and let us know if you're still here at 5332.
Leave a comment down below. We did it. We did fabulously. We'll see you, and join us in the roundup. We'll see you tomorrow or today, whenever the fuck you're listening to this. It's every Wednesday at noon. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.